Yeah, I hear people talking about AI or technology or algorithms or, software thinking they're gonna motivate them or do the work for them or magically implant human thinking tools in their brains and life skills, interpersonal skills, problem solving skills, adaptive skills, like it's not gonna happen. And all the projects for building I'm hearing about, it's same old, accelerating the Anthropocene. Like I don't hear of a train uh, track being planned to go to the north of Canada and zigzag. They're using electricity to move. And the electricity is, they can get it directly from the ground if they want. If the train goes in places where you can build a small hydroelectric dam or there's winds, you can put some solar, I mean, windmills and other little things to feed into the train track that's electrical, but also this is not just for transportation between newer communities and old communities, but it's also a way to send electricity from the ground in these places and from these other sources of electricity into other sources to use, because it's a line. It's a line. You don't have to make it just about energy or just about transportation. You can make it about a lot of things. But to do that, you have to actually, believe in science. Economics prevents you from doing that, from believing in the practices of sharing the commons or of, which is a humane thing to do, right? Sharing the commons, but also not overburdening the commons. And it's a kindergarten lesson that you can teach with more complexity at every grade level. And of course, public servants don't get it. But it's also using science in only one way, is by using it with sustainable methods practices, and again thinking far in the future, not thinking, oh, they're doing this in other parts of the world, so we won't be competitive if we don't keep accelerating the Anthropocene as well. So this is a species I share DNA with, and they're not moving forward with the scientific principles and the scientific method. They're actually doing same old, and hitting that ceiling. And part of it is they don't develop an Homo sapien operating system. And again, economics is magical, religions are supernatural. They're not connected to the real world. So we're not an evolved species. We're not a developed country here in Canada. And again, if people don't get why, let's say, Prime Minister Carney's acting this way, that fits sometimes what conservatives would do. But the thing is there's really no difference between any political party in Canada or candidate. Is really they can be measured as reflecting the three main cultural patterns. Because if they didn't, of Canadian culture, if they didn't, they'd never raise that high in their political power. Is laissez-faire, hypocrisy, and impunity facilitation. And I can't translate that in French because French doesn't want me to use the French word for accountability. They're that ridiculous. They don't want anybody to know that word. So, yeah, so the best way at this point, all the signs scientifically point for our species to evolve, is we need to be infected by a virus. We ourselves are acting only in ways to devolve ourselves and to take down the rest of the biosphere. So, of course, the biosphere will have to, and permafrost might help.